In this video, I'm going to show you how I made this really cute little planter. I took several mini plants and put them together in this wooden bowl, and I'll explain to you step by step what I did to create this. I love to have plants in the dining room especially, but I enjoy them all through the house wherever I have enough light. There's so many different ways that you can do this. You can add many different elements to this and you can change it up however you like. I decided to try to keep it kind of simple. So let's go ahead and get started. For starters, I'll show you the little plants that I'm going to put in this bowl. I just think they're so cute. And so these are the plants. I have this one here. It's kind of taller, but I think it'll smush down into the bowl okay. And then I got this cute one right here. And then this one, and this one here. And I have a little fern that I've had for quite a while that I got at the same place a few years ago whenever we was in Ohio. And I'm thinking of maybe leaving it in the pot and setting it on top, but time will tell. Other elements that I have is some reindeer moss and some preserved moss. This is just some different colors that I could add as accent colors. I have a cute little pot here, a little piece of wood. I don't know what I'll even use in it. Oh, and then I have this cute little mushroom. I think that'll be cute in there. And then I found this wooden bowl that I'll use. So to get started on this project, I have a heavy duty trash bag and I'm going to cut this to line the inside of my bowl to protect the bowl. So I'll lay this black plastic out here. I think I'm going to do a double layer in case one of the layers gets a poke in it. I'm just going to lay this bowl on top and I'm going to cut this too big. I'll put it over here to the edge where I have a fold. I'll cut this too big and let it fold over the edge to start with, and then I can cut it to size after I have my plants in here. There. Okay, let's flip this over. And get this liner in here. And then I have some soil here that I'll put inside of it to help weight that down. You can staple it, and I debated back and forth if I was going to do that, but I think that once I get all the plants and the soil in here, that will hold it down. I'll have to wet this also. I'm not going to put a lot of soil in here because I want to leave room for the dirt that's in them plants. I think I'll get some water and water this just a little bit. That'll help weight it down too. I think I'll start with this big plant because it's pretty deep and I'm going to have to get it mushed down in here. And so it'll take up the most space. So I'll get that in here. You can cut this right now, but I think I'm going to wait because I should be able to get in here with my scissors. Okay, so I'm going to move some of that dirt and then I will kind of play with these roots to get them splayed out a little bit. I don't mind if it mounds up a little bit. I'll leave a little light layer on the bottom of dirt. For this plant, I'm going to have it kind of going over the edge. So I'm going to lay it in a spot that will kind of go right over that edge. I just think that will be pretty to add a little bit of to add something pretty on the edge. So I'm going to put some dirt over that and kind of pack it in. And I'll come in after everything's planted and water it and pack it in more. But I might actually be moving things, so I don't want to get it too settled in. So I'm going to get these other plants over here. And that way I can set them around in here and get a visual of where I want them. Just about get the mushroom over here too, although I think that will be later. I kind of think I'm going to want that there. I can have this on the opposite side. These two are similar types of plants. And then I could, this is a spiller also, so I could put that over here on the opposite of the other spiller. And then I have this fern. And like I said, I might leave that in the middle. I could have probably put even more plants, but these are going to spread. And I do have that moss that I can fill in some of these areas, and I can put some rocks in here. So I think I'm going to do it this way. So I'll get this unpotted. I'll plant that in right here. Kind of press it down a little bit. Okay, I'll get this guy planted over here. And these pots are really cute. I'll save them and maybe plant something of my own to start. I'm going to add a little more water to this. It should pack in better now. I have it almost too wet right now, but I'll add a little dirt on top because the dirt's down pretty low. I'll add a little dirt on top and that will absorb that water. It feels like it's pretty close to the edge of my bowl, and there's plenty of dirt in here now for these guys to roam around in. Make sure that I have it all the way around the plants. I think I'll get a misting bottle to clean these leaves off a little bit. And spray these off. And I'll mist this top dirt down a little bit, just so it's not flying everywhere. It's a really light and fluffy dirt. I'll go ahead and trim this. I have to be careful around this edge and lift it up so that I don't cut the plants. There. Now I'll press this dirt to the edge to kind of cover that up. And you can always take a razor blade and trim the edge that way just to make sure you get all of it. If you can see any of it when I'm done, I may do that, but I think by the time I add my moss in here, most of it should be covered up. I'll wash my hands and then we'll try to put some moss in here and see if it looks good or not. It's raining out here today. So I have this cute little pot. I think I'm gonna set that in here. I think that this will be my front. It may go on the table where you see all sides, but I still kind of want to have a front. I'll push this down just a little bit. I'm gonna grab some moss and lay it around there. Maybe I'll put some of this brighter green on this side to kind of contrast this and just see how it looks. Pretty much anytime I'm doing a project, it just kind of evolves. Put a little there and a little bit here. And maybe some right there. This is kind of a plug, but I think I can tear it apart and just kind of lay it down in here. I have this other type too, but I feel like it's gonna blend in too much. I think I'd rather have this dry look around these brighter colors. I'll just shred this up so it just kind of lays on the soil. I don't want it to be raised up too much. On the bag it just says preserved moss. There's so many options. I'm gonna let it lap over the edge a little bit. I think that'll hide the edge of my bag. I have some of this purple stuff that I think would be pretty over in here, but I'm gonna wait till I get my ground covered first. And this is a little bit different. All right, so I'll just pack this in here around these plants. I might put a little bit under here so it covers the bag. I'll put a little of this over here because the moss is slightly different and I want it all to kind of blend together. In fact, I might put a little bit of this over here and add some of that over there. I don't want it hanging over the edge too much. Just enough to make it look natural and cover the spots. I made these purple things a little bit smaller because I felt like it was just too too much, and I found this little pot here and put some moss in that to kind of give it a little something. So I'll get these edges cleaned up a little bit more, and then we'll get it in the house. I'll show you the crocheted doily that I got to put under this, which I think will be really cute. So I think I'm gonna put the planter on this end stand. I usually keep this turntable on here. This is the crocheted doily that I found in Ohio. I don't even know if you'd call this type a doily. So I'm gonna lay that on top of it. It's a little bit bigger, but that's fine because the planter will still set level on here. And then I'll put my planter on here. I put a little rock under the mushroom because it kept trying to fall over. So I added some rocks in here, and you could put a little deer in here. There's so many different things you could add, little benches or little chairs. You could change this up completely and do so many different things. I would say go with the theme of your home, whatever your home is like. The dining room that I'm in right now, everything is kind of more lodgy, so keeping it kind of simple works well out here. But I may seasonally add different things to this just to kind of decorate it a little bit more. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making this arrangement. I hope that it inspired you to try something like this. This is something I will enjoy for a very long time. I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.